a creative sucks sometimes. And what do you do when things suck? You talk about it. You talk about it and you try to find solutions to make it suck less. So let's do that. Hello, a traveler of worlds, and welcome back to another video, or welcome to this video. If you haven't been here before, my name is Frederike. I am the face behind a Traveler of Worlds, where we talk about everything that is about healing through creation. To use creativity as a tool for self-expression and healing and finding joy in life. Today I wanted to talk about how creativity has, it has all these beautiful beneficial factors to our lives. It can do so much for us. It is such a healing and beautiful thing to incorporate into everyday life, but it also has its stressful moments and stressful phases. Maybe not even stressful, but like dark phases, let's call it that. If you see me looking down, I've got my notes so I don't start talking about bananas and carpets instead of the topics that I'm actually supposed to be talking about. I have a bad habit of doing that. So grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or something comforting. I am wearing my PJs. I'm sitting on the floor, showing you the only non-messy part of my room. Let's dive into this. The first point I want to talk about is, this is especially for those who strive to perhaps do their creativity as a profession, claiming it as a professional thing you'll be doing in the future. Maybe you are a professional right now, earning your living and your income on your creativity. This is for you because I think there's a side of having your creativity as your profession is that we need to be creating all the time. The pressure to create all the time to maintain our status of artists and creatives. Whilst at the core of everything, creativity is supposed to be fun. Making things is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be connected deeply to joy. And sometimes it's hard to find the line or to find the boundaries of having to push yourself to the limit all the time to maintain a certain status and just allowing yourself to create because it feels good. I know, especially when you are, looking to become a professional, or you are a professional. I am looking to become a professional, not professional, but I hope to earn my living on creativity at some point in my life. And I definitely feel the pressure of, okay, I have to be creating all the time, because if not, I'm not working towards that future. I am not doing what needs to be done in order to create that future and to open up that possibility for me. But ever since I started thinking that, there has become this friction between me and just creativity itself. Yes, I know you might feel pressured to create all the time. You might even feel like you are missing out on potential if you don't create all the time. But in all honesty, I think creativity is such a free-floating thing. It needs room to breathe. It needs time to, gather inspiration and just observe the world, observe life. It needs to feel and it comes out in phases. We have our phases of taking it all in, feeling it all, experiencing it all, and we have our phases of letting all these feelings and these thoughts be reflected through the things that we make. And sometimes the best thing you can do for your future best work is to take a break, and also to just have fun with it. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. It doesn't have to be hard and grinding and it can just be this beautiful, fun thing that just brings you joy in the moment. It doesn't have to be more than that. This leads to the next point, which is burnout and guilt regarding creativity. I think that we as creatives can have this romanticized picture in our heads of that we live and breathe the thing that we do, we do nothing else. And there are people out there who can be like that. I am definitely not one of them. I am the kind of person who needs time away from this. From this life, really. I can't, as much as I like the picture, the image in my head of poring over my art every single day and having hardly any attention span for anything else. It's a beautiful picture, but it's not realistic. And I don't really think it's even very healthy. in a way, because life is meant to be lived with people, with connections, with experiences. We're supposed to be doing things, we're supposed to have fun, and creativity can be such a beautiful partner in that, a partner that walks alongside us and like fills us with inspiration and joy when it's suitable. But it's not something, again, that we should push or force, something that we think we need to do all the time, because that ultimately just leads to resentment, I think, and exhaustion. Creativity becomes this like, it just creates friction between you and the potential beautiful things you can create. I'll give you an example. I still do, but like before I learned how to draw and stuff like that, my passion and my obsession was writing, writing novels, writing fantasy stories. That is something that is still really, really dear to my heart, but I haven't touched it for years because I overdid it for so many years in my early 20s. I think between I was 15 and maybe like 22, I did nothing else. I lived and breathed stories. I wrote so many words and so many versions of manuscripts, and it was messy. And it has led to me now that I had this romanticized image in my head of being this writer who poured out all her heartache and all her struggles and everything she was into these stories, and nothing else mattered, and that was the only thing that I did. And then suddenly I just kind of imploded. I lost all my joy for it. I can't, just me facing a manuscript right now, trying to write it, I just can't. Like, I have this like block. Maybe it's a writer's block towards it, but I think I've overdone it so much and I've pushed my writing so much that I can't face it anymore. I can't really put it into words how that is, but I'm really sad that it is this way, because I know how important writing is to me. But now I've also accepted that if I ever want creativity to let me back into the world of writing, I need to give it space. I need to let it breathe. So I would call it kind of like a writing burnout, because I've just done it too much. I have forced it too much. The joy went out of it. It was just like this me romanticizing an image of a life that isn't realistic and that isn't healthy. Moving on to the next thing, which is, looking at my notes again, by the way, it's about perfectionism and the fear of failure regarding our art. I'll tell you a story. Well, a story is a bit of an overstatement. I'll just give you a little bit of a recap of my life. Because, I can't talk for you. I can only talk about myself and like take similarities from my own life, or take examples from my own life. This is probably, perfectionism is the biggest thing to me, and the fear of failure is the biggest thing to me, because subconsciously I put all my value and my worth into the finished pieces that I create. Like, before I even start, I'm like, okay, this has to become something because I need to prove that I'm worth something. Now, keep in mind here, I know that is wrong, and I'm hard at work to get that out of my system. But it's one thing to be aware of something, which is really good. But the next step is to actually rewire your brain to think differently, which is something that takes time. And so I'm in the process of rewiring my own thinking. But again, when I pick up a canvas now, when I make a video, anything, this perfectionism voice is there. Yeah, I'm not fighting it, but I'm definitely having heavy quarrels and discussions with it every time I create. Anyway, the story here is that I am a 27-year-old. I live on welfare because of mental health struggles I've had since I was very young. Because of these mental health struggles, I did not finish school. I didn't even finish high school. I don't have any educations. I've never had a job. And I have none of these accomplishments that a normal human being in society most likely has, or many of you have. That brings a sense of self-worth and accomplishments, which is it's important to have these accomplishments. It's important to experience these boosts of confidence that you've made something, that you've done something, that you've become something. And I've never had that. And so, again, with my writing that I kind of worked into the ground, like, at some point I lost the difference. I lost the sight of why I was writing in the first place. And what writing was to me, it became this thing of, this romanticized picture of I have to become this beautiful big author with a gazillion books, because I wanted to prove myself that, even though I hadn't done all the things that all the teenagers at my age had done, I still was worth something, just in a different way. And then I worked the writing into the ground and I started doing the art thing, and I definitely immediately noticed the pattern that I do the same with my art. I do the same with the pieces that I make. Every video, every picture that I take, something inside me wants it to be perfect, because I need to prove myself. I need to prove my worth to the world, which again is bullshit. That if you hear this, just please, I hope there's a huge alarm bell going off in your head saying, gosh, this sounds ridiculous, this sounds very wrong, because it is wrong. My worth doesn't depend on the things that I create. It doesn't depend on the things that I do. I am worthy. I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to live and be a part of society, regardless of what I do, and what I contribute. That's even saying that is hard. I hear these thoughts in my head saying, no, oh no, don't you dare say that about yourself. But I know that I'm worthy to just be here. I'm worthy to just be living. And if you ever doubted that, if you ever doubted your place in the world, I'm telling you now, you deserve to be here. It's your birthright to be here. It's your birthright to have love and kindness in your life. It's your birthright to have all your basic needs met. Just living allows you to have that, or it should allow you to have that. And it's just a very upsetting thing to think that so many people don't. Anyway, that's a topic for another time. I think I've even talked about it before. But yeah, again, perfectionism and the fear of failure, I carry that with me for every piece and everything that I make, because I feel like I need to make up. And, I need to make up for everything that I haven't done. This one is hard too. Comparison. There are so many freaking good people out there who make everything perfect. At least it seems like it. They know they have the best skills. They make the best pieces. They're experts at their crafts. And just seeing them being this good, when you scroll on Instagram, when you scroll on TikTok, I'm not on TikTok, but I just have a feeling that if I go on TikTok and I see people's art videos, I'm never going to pick up my own pencil again, because, what's the point? Because all the good ones are already out there. But, and looking at people on YouTube, watching videos of the best, oh gosh, I'm on one side, I'm so in awe of those people who have those skills, those well-earned skills, because at the end of the day, it's not about talent. Talent isn't, I don't even think it's really a thing unless you actually put in the hours that are needed to get good. That is what an expert means, putting in the hours, putting in the work to become good. And also, it's so important to know that even though those amazing people are out there, it doesn't make your art any less valuable. Your art and creativity is equally allowed to be out there, to be seen, or to be done. Like, you don't even have to show off the things that you make, but you deserve to make art, no matter how bad it is. I don't think there's any bad art really at the end of the day, but no matter how bad your art is, it is allowed to be here. You're allowed to make it. I think that anything that we create, anything beautiful that we add to the world, that's what it's all about. Using our hands to make beautiful things, not ripping it apart. That is why your art is so important. That is why you should keep going, why you should keep creating. And these perfect people on the social network, on social media, will always be there. The only recommendation I can give you, which I've given myself, is just setting very strict boundaries. I don't really consume any social media these days. I haven't done for a while because it doesn't do my brain very well, so I've just kind of let go of it. But if you're one of those who enjoys being on social media, like I am on social media, but I'm not consuming it. I'm living my own life and like putting my own life on social media, but I'm not consuming others. Just because that is what brings me the most peace of mind. But what I wanted to say was, if you enjoy being on social media and seeing what other people do, and you also notice that you compare yourself when you do it, Know when you let the world in, and set your boundaries for your own creative mind's sake. Just be with yourself, have fun with the things that you enjoy. Social media can wait. You can look at it later when you're in a less of a vulnerable state. Yeah, I think you get the point. Also, finding time for your art. I think it's this misconception that you need to spend hours and hours and hours on your art in order to, I don't even know, to create something good. If you think that you have to spend a lot of time on it, that already stops you from creating in the first place. If you were like, okay, it's enough if I just spend 5 minutes a day on one doodle, or just playing one song, or doing one row of knit work, you know, if you can lower that threshold for yourself, I think you'll be amazed to see how much more you'll be able to do, because you're not putting this pressure on yourself to having to create all the time and many hours in a day. No, it doesn't have to be that. It can be 5 minutes here, it can be 10 minutes there. That's enough. Creativity is here to serve your joy and your peace of mind. And again, it's okay to have your phases and your weeks and your months and your maybe even years where, you know, you just need time to breathe and to live. Gosh, that's a lot of talking, isn't it? Okay, I have one more point. That is the relationship between creativity and mental health. This comes back to what I said, that no matter how much time there is between you creating, you are just as much an artist as you're just as much an artist if you create every day, or if you create once every 6 months, or, you know, you take a break for 3 years. I think what I've definitely noticed with mental health, when I'm in bad shape, when I'm depressed and I'm anxious, creativity becomes like a fearful negative thing for me. It's something I can't think about. It's something I can't reach for. All in all, creativity just feels unreachable. I've noticed that I need to be in a reasonably good headspace to have the ability to create. And as much as I've been upset in the past that, like, okay, I feel so shitty and so depressed right now, why can't I just create something that helps me process my emotions? Why can't I now just make a freaking painting, you know, that helps me pour my heart out, blah, blah, blah. I did that when I was writing. Now you know how that ended. And I notice I can do that when it comes to physical paintings and art. I'm even struggling now that I'm not depressed, but I'm in a lower state of mind. I'm not inspired. And I just can't seem to pick up the camera to vlog my life because, you know, if you're new here, I usually make like artist vlogs kind of things. I just take you with me along through my week, and I haven't been able to pick up the camera to do that for weeks. Mostly because I don't know what to film, I don't know what to make, and it just becomes this really shitty experience and all. And I'm now just throwing my hands up saying, okay, this is how it is. I have to embrace that. I know my inspiration will return. I know that the months between January and March always are a little gloomy and gray and hard to get through. And right now I need to focus on my survival. I need to focus on giving myself space to breathe so that I can, you know, get this phase over with without too much mental heavy damage. And that I can allow inspiration back in when it's time for that. And I know that if I keep fighting myself in phases like these, I just push the inspiration and the creativity further and further away. I build up this wall of like not being able to let anything in because I'm just fighting with myself. So yeah, again, it's such an important point here that mental health makes for many creativity unreachable. It makes it really hard to create. And that's okay. Creativity ebbs, it flows. It's an energy inside of us that needs to be nurtured, that needs to be respected, that needs to be taken care of. And the sooner we can come to that realization, the more fun and the more enjoyable the process in itself becomes, I think. And yeah, I want this video to be a reminder that to be kind to yourself, to be kind to your craft, to be kind to your creativity, to be kind to yourself, give yourself some grace. This world is a dark and gloomy and turbulent place. There's so much fighting and so much division and so much crap out there. There's so much separation from humanity. There's so much pain. But there's also so much beauty. And if you can see that you're allowed to be here, your art is allowed to be here, if you can accept that your creativity and your art, it ebbs and it flows and it needs time to breathe, so that, you know, you create at the times that are right for you, that's when you add your spark to this beautiful existence that is out there, that is here. If you have any thoughts you'd like to add, feel free to do so in the comments. Also, remember to check out our very lovely introverted creative Discord community, where we on a regular basis talk about these things, because it just helps us process and it helps us move forward on this creative journey together. And in this Discord community, we really have a sense of community. We have a sense of being together, being in this together. And I think that is such an important part of being a creative, to find your tribe, to connect with people who think and feel the same way. There is so much value and so much beauty in that. So, like I said, I am in a bit of a gloomy place these days, so my content is a little bit scattered and all over the place, and I don't know. But that being said, I am working on a project which I will reveal in the next video, I think, and it's going to be consuming many months, if not the entirety of this year. And I've decided that I'm going to share it with you because I don't want to be alone with it. I don't want to do this on my own. And I realize that you guys are awesome. And I just want to talk to you about it, you know? So stay tuned for the next video, which might come in like a week or so, week and a half. Give me some space here, give me some grace. I can't give any promises, but it will be up soon enough. I can't wait to share it with you. I hope you want to come along for the journey. If you watched to the end of this video, thank you so much. It means the absolute world. I'm so grateful that you're here. And I hope that any of what I said made any sense and that you could take something away from it. I'd love to hear your experiences with the negative side of creativity in the comments, because you help other people out. You help other people out as well. Okay, I've talked enough for one day. I'm gonna go. I love you all so much, and I will see you again very soon.